Welcome to Byte-Sized Tech. Today, we're talking about AI. It's this incredible technology, right? It promises so much efficiency and creativity, but its crazy, explosive growth is causing some, let's call them growing pains. And they're big ones. From straining our power grids to completely redefining what it even means to be an artist. That's what we're digging into today.
And just to give you a sense of the scale here, look at this number, 12%. That's how much of North America's entire electricity supply AI data centers are expected to eat up by 2040. I mean, think about that. This isn't just some code floating around in the cloud. It's a physical revolution with huge real-world consequences. And that's really the core tension we're exploring. So here's our game plan. We'll kick things off with the absolute madness of the AI gold rush. Then we'll look at the hefty price tag that comes with all this progress, especially for artists. After that, we're going to switch gears to a pretty interesting hardware battle. Then we'll zoom out to see the power plays happening between platforms and governments. And to wrap it all up, we're going to look to the stars. Yep, for a little bit of perspective. All right, let's jump right in. The first thing you really need to grasp is just how fast all this is happening. It's wild. AI isn't just a cool new feature in an app anymore, you know? It's quickly becoming the very bedrock of our digital world. And the numbers behind it all? They're just mind-boggling. Okay, so we all remember when ChatGPT dropped, right? It felt like it changed everything overnight. Well, what's fascinating here is that the hype is actually speeding up. Check this out. OpenAI's new video tool Sora actually had more downloads in its first week than ChatGPT did. And get this, it was an invite-only beta. It just goes to show you people are hungry for this stuff, and the demand is just exploding. And make no mistake, this is not just an OpenAI show. Not at all. Google is going all in on a global scale. They're pushing their AI search out to over 200 countries, adding tons of new languages. But the really clever part? They're weaving their AI, Gemini, right into the tools we use every single day, like Figma. The goal is pretty clear. Make AI so essential you can't imagine working without it. Okay, but all this incredible growth, it has a dark side. It doesn't come for free. With every giant leap forward, we're uncovering these new, kind of scary vulnerabilities. The very same tools that are supposed to make us super productive, well, in some cases, they're turning into our biggest headaches. Just take a look at this. This shows where workplace data leaks are coming from now. And for the first time ever, the #1 culprit is AI chats. Yeah, beating out cloud storage, beating out email. And the reason why is so simple. People are just copying and pasting sensitive work stuff into their personal AI accounts, a lot of the time without even thinking about the risk.
And that's the key thing to get here. It's not like people are trying to be spies or anything. It's not malicious. It's an innocent prompt. Something like, hey, can you summarize this report for me? But what if that report is full of confidential company secrets? Well, you just sent it outside the firewall. Boom. A huge, massive security blind spot just got created. And this isn't just a problem for big companies. It affects us personally. The recent Discord breach is the perfect and kind of terrifying example. The hackers didn't even go after Discord itself. Nope. They found a weak spot in one of their partners, a company called Zendesk. And through that one little crack, they got everything. Emails, usernames, even government IDs. It's a stark reminder that our data is only as safe as the weakest link in the chain. Now, nowhere is this tug-of-war between progress and problems more intense than in the creative world. I mean, right now, there is a massive legal and, honestly, a philosophical fight going on about what art even is anymore. We're talking about copyright, originality, and what it really means to create something in the age of AI. So, in one corner, you've got big names like DC Comics. Their president, Jim Lee, basically said AI can't dream, it can't feel, it doesn't make art, it just mashes up stuff we've already made. But in the other corner, you have the messy reality of how these AIs are built. We're talking about companies like Anthropic, who got in hot water for allegedly training their AI on a huge library of pirated books. And if you want to know just how high the stakes are in this fight, just look at this number, $1.5 billion. That's how much Anthropic had to pay in a settlement with authors who said their work was used to train its AI without their permission. So yeah, this is way more than just a debate about art. This is a huge legal and financial showdown. This whole battle over ideas and data, it's also happening in the real world with real hardware. While the AIs are fighting over information, the tech giants are duking it out over the phones in our pockets.
Which brings us to a classic showdown, kind of like a David versus Goliath story, in the fight for the best foldable phone. So who comes out on top in the foldable fight? Well, looking at the specs, you can see they're playing two very different games. Google's Pixel is coming in hot on price. It's $200 cheaper, and it's built tougher with a better water resistance rating. On the other hand, you have Samsung's Galaxy, and they're leaning into their experience. Theirs is thinner, lighter, and it's got a more powerful chip inside. So really, it all comes down to what you're looking for. Do you want something practical or something polished? Google's betting you want a bigger battery and a phone that can take a beating. Samsung's betting you want that sleek design and top-of-the-line performance. And it's a real choice. Reviewers say the Pixel feels a bit chunky, while the Samsung just slides right into your front pocket. That's a small thing, but it matters a lot day to day. Okay, let's zoom out a bit. Forget about individual phones for a second and think about the big picture, the incredible power that these tech platforms and even governments have over our digital lives. The rules for how we interact online are being changed right now, in real time, and a lot of the time, we don't even see it happening. Yeah, those lines that used to separate tech companies from politics, they're basically gone. They're totally blurred. You have governments leaning on companies like Apple to pull certain apps. At the same time, you've got officials using social media to change the whole tone of political conversation. And then, in a crazy twist, you see platforms like YouTube actually creating new policies, like this program to give banned creators a second chance, specifically because government committees are investigating them. It's this complicated dance of power, and the rules of our online world are always in flux. But you know what? After all this earthbound drama, all this fighting over data and art and power, let's just take a deep breath. Let's pull way, way back for a minute. Because while we're all staring at our screens, some truly amazing things are happening way out there. So let's wrap this up with something that kind of puts it all in perspective. A story that's all about human curiosity and our tiny little place in this massive universe. So get this. Scientists looking at old data from the Voyager 2 probe now think that one of Uranus's moons, a place called Ariel, might be an ocean world. The theory is that the pull of Uranus's gravity might have warmed it up enough to create a liquid water ocean almost 100 miles deep, a place where, just maybe, life could have gotten started. And that kind of leaves us with one final question to chew on, right? As we get so wrapped up in the new worlds we're building right here on Earth with AI and all this tech, what are we forgetting? What incredible secrets and what kind of perspective do we miss out on when we forget to just look up? If you enjoyed this episode, please like, comment, share, and subscribe.